Welcome back to the Sideline Live podcast. You can follow us over on Twitter and Instagram at the Sideline Live. We'd love to hear from you. On episode 43, I am delighted to be joined by Irish senior international and professional basketball player Jordan Blount. In this episode, we chat about his career, his unique path to the States as he stopped off in the UK and Spain, and so much more. This is the final episode of the Green Emmy Abroad series, and put the series on hold for a little while. I hope you enjoy. Hi Jordan, thanks a million for coming on the podcast.
Thanks very much for having me.
So before we get into everything, would you be able to give a bit of an intro for the listeners who might not know who you are?
So my name is Jordan Blount, Irish international, currently playing professionally in Iceland. This is my second year professionally, and I just got here about a week ago or so. But yeah, I've been on the Irish teams all through the ages. Got the chance to play in America and play all over. So thanks for having me on.
Cool, we'll get into all of that. Who originally got you into basketball?
My dad. Yeah, 100%. My dad was such a huge basketball nerd in every sense of the matter. Ref, coach, played. So I just went everywhere he used to go. So then obviously just naturally started and wanted to play.
And did you play anything else growing up, or was it just basketball?
No, I played football for a couple of games
Right.
and then seriously just couldn't hack it. Didn't like being outside, cold, the rain. I was like,
The muck, you were like, nah lads, I'm staying inside.
My dad came to one of my games. He's like, I'm never coming to any more of these.
So the encouragement was there for basketball.
It was short. Yeah. It was short-lived.
Yeah. And when did you realise you wanted to take basketball seriously and you looked to maybe go abroad?
Yeah, so when I was young, I think I was around 10 or 11, I'd seen the news. I was in the Echo, my dad used to always get the Echo. So I seen that somebody from the north side of Cork had went to England to play. And obviously I'd heard of people going away before, but like never knew anybody that did. So Kyle Hosford actually went over to England. The club kind of had some issues or whatever, he ended up coming back. That was my first time seeing somebody that I knew, someone that was close to where I'm from, like going away and really doing it. And then just through conversations with my dad about like, oh, this is my goal now. I want to do this, I want to go there. And it just evolved from that point.
Right. And ability-wise, obviously, you're extremely good at what you do. You're a professional. When did you really start to put in the extra effort and training and do the extra practices outside of maybe an organised session?
Yeah, I would say like I was very lucky. I got to be around some good. I had some good mentors in my life from a basketball point of view. You know, Jordan Noonan would have told me and steered me in a lot of different directions. So I knew kind of how to work out when I was young. So like, and that's the thing, like there's a lot of people don't really know how to work out until a later point in their career. But I was lucky to be around people that would guide me and steer me in the right way from that point. So around 13, 14, I really started to like lock in and try to work out every day, like a serious regime and everything. So quite young.
And what other advice would the likes of Ger and the other mentors give you?
So like the thing that I loved about Ger is that he had played every single position. You know what I mean? So he knew how to, like I was tall and I played on the wing at the time. Like I was a shooting guard up until about 17, 18.
Yeah.
Maybe even 19 when I was in prep school. But like Ger had been in every position that I've been playing in. And like I look at my career now, when I was younger, I used to bring the ball up and then I was a 2, and then I was a 3, and then I was a 4. Like Ger has literally done that. So he had advice from every perspective that I would have needed. So it was just, it was great to be around him so much.
Suzanne Maguire spoke about that before. She said because some of her underage coaches didn't box her into, let's say, the typical post because she was so tall.
Yeah.
That's nearly what she attributes her success to, because as you said there, she would have played out in the wing or did a lot of ball handling because and that's because of her coaches.
Yeah, no, 100%. It makes such a difference, and that's the problem sometimes in Ireland. Not a problem; it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? You see a tall kid, and you're like post player.
Yeah.
Because we're not we don't have an abundance of height or those kind of attributes. So it's whenever there's somebody a bit taller than everyone else, and it might not even be that tall, just taller.
Yeah.
But you're going inside.
Yeah, exactly. And you went to the UK. Was that just after your junior cert? Was it?
Yeah, it was right after my junior cert. Actually, I had an option to leave a year early.
Okay.
But family just felt that I was a year earlier than that. But my family just thought I was a bit too young or whatever.
Yeah.
So the following year, another opportunity came and just jumped at it and absolutely loved it. I was in Plymouth for the year and around some amazing people and made some great friendships.
And was Colin O'Reilly was in Plymouth, was he?
Yeah,
Or...
Colin was there too, so it was super like refreshing that like my first step away into this world of basketball, I got to be around somebody that was from my city. You know what I mean? So it was it was quite an easy transition for me. And even my coach and the man that I lived with, his name was Jay Marriott. He had been in Ireland and he had like friendships with a lot of people that I knew. Like he knew Darragh quite well. He played in Neptune, so it was quite an easy transition for me from that regard.
And how long did you spend in the UK before you went to Spain?
A season, so 1 year.
Only 1 year. And
just less than a year. Yeah.
And how did the opportunity go to come? Is it in Lanzarote, the academy? Is it?
It was in Gran Canaria at the time.
Gran Canaria.
Yeah, so like I made some contacts with an agent at the time made contact with my coach in England, Jay.
Yeah.
To kind of bring me out on some trials. So it was with Real Madrid, Estudiantes, Gran Canaria. So then in the end just chose that place. It was a good 2 years, long 2 years, but definitely an environment that you get better in.
You mentioned before on another podcast, I think it could have been when you were chatting to Jay Marriott, but one of the things that you were attracted to about Gran Canaria was it was just basketball, whereas with the other cities, I think they were trying to sell the city to you. Why do you think you just, like, I'm trying to get the sense of a lot of people wouldn't just go just for the basketball, they'd want the other elements of the city. Why did you just see that?
Well, when I was younger, when I was that age, I thought I was going to the NBA.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was my dream. That was, you know what I mean? I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I'm just going to go wherever I can just work as much as possible. And that just felt like that kind of place.
How come you didn't, like, let's say, burn out? Because I know it's not for everyone, and people have gone, they've come back, that's absolutely fine. But a lot of kids wouldn't be able for that 2 a day, 3 a day. How come you didn't burn out?
Yeah. When like, it's obviously it sounds and looks like it's a lot, but like once you fall into a routine, and I'll be quite good with routines. Okay. So like once I fall into the routine of I'm doing this, that, and the other, it's with everything when you move away from home. You just fall into routines of life, you know what I mean? Whatever the realm of life you may be in, whether you're getting up, going to work, and then you've got a job, you've got to go to class for college, something like that. It's a routine. Yeah. So for me, this became my routine, my natural kind of progression of my days. And it just, you know, you just kind of don't think about it once you're involved in it so much. Okay,
fair enough, yeah. And then how did the opportunity come up to go to the States?
So I played in the European Championships that summer. So I'd say I had a couple of looks. But again, just my knowledge of, you know, that side of the world, I just didn't have a whole lot. So I didn't know what I was doing, what questions I should be asking. So I played in the Euros that summer and had a really good tournament, led the tournament in scoring and made the top 5 or whatever. And from there, I got an offer from Georgia Tech at the European Championships. And then once I kind of got that offer, a few more started trickling in. And again, just a little bit overwhelmed. I was like, I make a decision to go to prep school. Okay. So I got a great situation. I went to Spire Institute. Everyone would know it now as where LaMelo Ball went to prep school. Yeah. So I was there a couple of years before him. We had a really good team. Like one of my teammates from there came to UIC with me. Oh, cool. We had a bunch of D1 guys on our team. We played a national circuit. So it was great experience.
Okay, yeah. And how come you didn't go professionally from Spain? Because I guess that's probably more of a traditional route from that academy.
The dream of the Division 1 basketball was there at that point. You know what I mean? By the time I was like 15, 16, because I was actually, before I went to England, instead of England, I was supposed to go to Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
So the American dream had kind of began at that point. So it was like, this is like professional basketball for me, not in an arrogant way, but it was always going to be there at a point. You know what I mean? Like I could have went after being a junior in the European leagues, playing in Spain and everything, or I could just come after college. So it wasn't going to change a whole lot for me. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. God, Hawaii sounds great. What happened there? Did it just fell through? I just kind of just didn't really. It was like I was supposed to go to high school in Sacramento. Okay. But if I went to this high school, I was basically committing to go to BYU's D2 team in Hawaii. Oh. And at the time, I just had no idea of
Yeah.
Division One. Obviously, I knew what it was, but it wasn't like at that age. I wasn't as tuned in.
Yeah.
So obviously, just ended up not going there because once I got to England and had some conversations with some people outside of the bubble I was already in, it was just new knowledge.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Just took my time from that point forward.
Yeah, that seems quite not sort of limiting, really. That probably would have limited you in your decision making, obviously, if you'd gone then to Hawaii.
Yeah, and I would have been quite confined to what I had agreed to do. You know what I mean? And it was, so it was, it definitely worked out for the best that I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was where the whole American want kind of began, you know? Yeah,
exactly. So talk us through prep school. You got a good few offers. I know you visited a couple of schools, but UIC really stood out to you.
Yeah. So again, I was very lucky, very fortunate to play on a national schedule. So a lot of got to play in front of a lot of schools. Started getting a few offers, and I just started to take a few visits. So and then I took a visit to Chicago with absolutely no intentions, but just not expecting what happened to happen. You know what I mean? I didn't. It wasn't on my top list. You know what I mean? It was I'll probably go here before I would go there, you know. And then I took the visit and just absolutely fell in love with the city, fell in love with the campus, loved the way the coaches were, you know, selling the program and everything. So it worked out perfect. I really, really enjoyed my time there, and I'm very happy with my decision.
And at the time when he was recruiting you, did he give you sort of an expectation of your role coming into the first year? Now, I know later on that had to change because of your academic reasons in the NCAA.
Yeah.
But what was his kind of chat with you about the expectation coming in?
Yeah, I mean, initially, like, he had seen me playing when I was a 3-guard, so I was really, like, playing a lot more on the wing. So I was got a lot of what I'm doing now, but just more not playing inside a whole lot, just all on the wing, trying to get to the rim and whatever way. Shooting a lot of threes. I wasn't making a whole lot, but I was shooting a lot. So he kind of seen me a little bit differently. But then when I got there, I kind of put on a bit of weight. Obviously in a good way, you know, we had a great strength coach, great strength team. Yeah. And still was moving quite well. And initially I started around the 3, but then the 4, like I kind of just naturally progressed into that position, like a stretch 4, create type 4. And I love that role, to be honest. So it was always centered around that. After my first couple of months there, they're like, we actually see you being quite good in this role for us. So it was a smooth transition there as well.
Very good. Talk us through, I remember you spoke about another podcast. It was a grey shirt you had to do for your first year, was it?
Yeah, so like the whole thing where I'd been in a couple of different systems, and honestly what happened was they messed up the readings of, so I was in Irish system, which is junior cert, so that would be considered like GCSEs in England. GCSEs would be considered a high school diploma in America, but a junior cert wouldn't. So my natural progression was, when I left the junior cert, I then started a BTEC level course, a sports course in England. So at that point, that started my eligibility clock in the eyes of the NCAA. And again, just from lack of knowledge, just didn't know what I was going into, you know what I mean? And then I went into Spain and technically went back into high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like, because of the course that I had taken, whatever way it was, the way the NCAA viewed it was, that was my junior, senior year of high school.
Right, okay.
Which in Ireland would be like 4th year, 5th year, 6th year.
Yeah.
And then so basically I had to sit out. We filed a waiver and they gave me a year of being a student, basically. They were like, yeah, you can practice, you can do everything, but you just can't play. You have to prove that you want to be a student. And then that was, I had to get a certain GPA my first year in college so that the NCAA would allow me to play from that point forward.
Okay, but your scholarship was still covered under that?
Yeah, I was still on full scholarship. I had everything. It was like, imagine just not playing. Imagine being the guy that doesn't get any minutes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like that for the year, but I wasn't allowed to suit up or anything.
Okay, right. That also just sounds like the NCAA didn't have, at the time, maybe, I don't know if it's changed, but it doesn't sound like they had much knowledge or experience of.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, and that's not me, like maybe they did, but the way it was conveyed to me and the way I picked it up was that they didn't have, they didn't kind of know. But then at the same time, I get it, because a BTEC in England is they called their school to college, you know what I mean? And then they go from college to sixth form.
Yeah.
So because they call it college, that's why the NCAA picks it up like that.
Yeah.
But really, it was kind of like, you know, in fourth year, you do a bunch of modules.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just basically the equivalent to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, it's complicated. But you got playing after the year sitting out. How did you find actually again after the full year getting to play?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was unbelievable. You know, I always dreamed and wanted to play on Division One court. So to start my very first game and play my whole career as a starter was just, you know, unbelievable. Yeah, an actual dream come true.
Very good. When you got there and maybe when you started games, did you realise where at a point, I need to really work at X or Y? Or maybe did you have an edge over your teammates because you had experienced stuff in Europe that maybe they wouldn't have had?
Yeah, I mean, everything, like, there were so many advantages, disadvantages. There were a lot of strengths, a lot of weaknesses in my first year that I'd seen. And, like, the one thing I found in college was that you have to become a specialist in your area. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, like, in Europe, I had a lot more freedom on every team I played on because I was able to score the basketball in my position because I had a lot of mismatches there.
Yeah.
In America, it was different because now everybody is a mismatch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every switch you get or anything, that's what American basketball is, trying to find where we have one strength. And you know what I mean? So like whatever you can do to get to that mismatch, we're going to get there. In America, it was very much like that for me. That was my perspective in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the level of players is just so much higher. You know what I mean? Division I basketball is unbelievable. So I really figured out that you have to become a specialist in your area and be really good at these couple of things. And that's how you stay on the court.
On your Basketball Ireland takeover, you had one of the rookies wearing a T-shirt with the Irish flag on it. What were your rookie duties when you were in your freshman year?
So I was very lucky that I didn't really get any.
Okay.
So because I had to sit that year out, I wouldn't travel. So I would just stay because I had to show that I was being a student. So if I don't have to be there, I have to, you know, be back and not miss class or whatever. So I missed out on all that kind of stuff because I wasn't around. And then my second year, I was a sophomore. Yeah. And we had freshmen come in. So then naturally,
you cheated. You nearly cheated your way out of it. What sort of rookie duties did you make the other guys do then? Seeing as you missed it?
Not a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of misconceptions of that kind of stuff. But they would be the ones carrying the balls, carrying the water, carrying the food onto the bus when we're going. Just little things. And then that guy that you're talking about from my takeover, he was one of our managers. Young kid, he was a freshman at the time. And just really nice guy. He loved Ireland.
Deadly, very good. What was the perception like when people were saying, "Oh, where are you from?" Now I know you don't maybe typically have a real strong Cork accent, but when you say I'm from Ireland, what do people think?
I mean, my ginger beard
gave it away.
You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh yeah, we could." But I wouldn't have the strongest, the thickest North Side Cork accent. But people are just so welcoming to Irish people. Everywhere I've been, you know, people love Irish people. Yeah. We have a great reputation in a lot of places, so it's always very joyous to be welcomed everywhere, you know. Yeah,
exactly. You spoke about before, UIC I guess was pretty unique in the fact that I think on your takeover the Warriors were in using the facility and a lot of NBA players came in. I think Jabari Parker was there and a couple of other people. I think you said before that you actually managed to watch them and train against them. Was there anything you picked up just from watching maybe their workouts or from going up against them?
I mean, it's the same kind of thing I'm talking about from college, like being a specialist. Like I watched Mike Dunleavy come in and work out, and Mike Dunleavy is known for being a shooter. Mm-hmm. Mike Dunleavy didn't bounce the ball once in his workout. He came in for 40 to 45 minutes. One of our managers rebounded for him, and our manager didn't move from underneath the rim. Like it was just, because what he does is he's a specialist, you know what I mean? So all he has to do to get paid is shoot the ball at a very high level. So that's all he did. He came in and worked his way out and literally didn't miss a shot. I'll never forget it. And we were upstairs watching him through our coach's glass windows or whatever. So we could see the workouts and we were allowed to watch a lot of people work out. And that was the thing. Like everyone they will work on exactly what they need to do and not, like if they don't do this and this isn't something that they do regularly, they're just not going to do it. Okay. So it's quite, you know, it's different. You know what I mean? It's a lot different to what we'd be used to in Ireland and in other places. But yeah, it's high level. You know, it's a lot of fun to be able to see it.
Yeah, obviously physically they're another class themselves. Like, geez, and then when you look, there's another class like Giannis and Joel Embiid. But if there's any, like, I guess the intangibles that they have, is that one of them, that they're just so good at doing what they need to do, like that speciality?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. They know their body so well. They know exactly what they need to do to perform. Like, you look at LeBron, the amount of money that he invests in just his body, like, a year, it's ridiculous. But the access to things that they have at that level and just the knowledge is just in abundance. So they're obviously they're at a level above than the rest with all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you a little bit about college and the college lifestyle, because I suppose it's a realistic thing. When you go to college in the States, it's quite like a party scene maybe. What's it like having to navigate, yes, you're in college, you have freedom, but having the discipline to know what to do, what not to do?
Yeah, I mean, it gets old quick.
Oh, does it? Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there's only so many parties you can go to before you're like, I'll skip this one.
Yeah.
And then you're just not, you know what I mean? And again, like, the personality change. Like, my first 2 years, I would have been a lot more social. Not that I wasn't social, but just a lot more willing to just go places and do stuff. And then I like my junior, senior year, and I don't think I could count how many times I went out on one hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, you mean, you grow up, you mature, like, the scenes that you're in are a bit different. You know, you're not really kind of going to parties now. You can, but it's like, you know, it's easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you figure it out quite easy, quite quickly.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. Your senior year, I think it was the summer before you tore your ACL. Talk us through a little bit of that and that process, because you came back in ridiculous time. I actually think you might nearly have the world record for the quickest recovery.
Yeah. Look, I was very, very lucky with people I had around me during that time. You know, off the court, I had a very close circle around me, and they kept me very positive. And then my staff for rehab and treatment and all that kind of stuff was just unbelievable. You know, Jenny, and we had access to, like, the USA Olympic doctor this summer. He was the one, and he's been the doctor for years. He was the one who did my surgery and oversee all my rehab and all that kind of stuff, and all my checkups with him after a couple of weeks. And so I was in great hands. And yeah, they were amazing. I wouldn't be able to make it back that quick if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, because how long till you were running after surgery?
So I was fully cleared. I passed all my tests for return to play just under 5 months.
Jesus.
So it was like 4 months and 3 months and 4 months and 20 something days.
Gee, and you obviously then just attacked your rehab. Like, as you said there, the support staff, it's different to, let's say, Ireland, where that's their job. Their job is to get Jordan Blount back on the court. So you obviously just then attacked your rehab with them.
Yeah, so I was going twice a day. Like, my first day after surgery, I went straight to rehab the following day.
Wow.
Didn't do a whole lot, but was just to be there mentally, like, I'm here to do it. And from that point on, like, the first week was tough just from pain.
Yeah.
But after that, then it was just, you know, I was every day going 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, rehab twice a day, treatment once a day. And I had a bunch of things at home, like knee machines to help me bend my knee, ice machines, all that kind of stuff. So again, just the access to equipment that America has is just unbelievable.
Well, I remember we had a phone call, I think it was last February or March, and you said about you had a diary that you wrote down every day about how your leg felt. And can you take us through a little bit of that and why?
Yeah, so it was actually a recommendation from Trish Nolan. Okay. She was someone that was very, very, very close to me. I would just always be one of those people that looks out for me from a personal point of view, rather than checking in on games and stuff like that. It's more checking in on me. And she was just like, look, she would always, for years, she's been trying to get me to do it. And at that point then I was like, I'm going to do it. So I did it for most of my rehab days, and literally just writing down whatever I was feeling, whatever I was thinking in that very moment that I decided to write. And yeah, just the difference from day 1 to day 5 was ridiculous. And then day 5 to 20 something was ridiculous. It was just good to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you reflect back much on your diary? Can you flick back to, let's say?
Not really. Like, every now and then I would think about it, but like, yeah, ever since I got cleared, I just kind of, you know, just don't really think about it anymore. It was
Okay.
part of it. It was just something that happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I made it back so quick, I think that's kind of what makes it feel like that, because there's a lot of injuries that you come back from in 5 months, and that's quite, good recovery. Where a lot of people aren't so lucky to, a lot of people suffer a lot longer with that kind of injury. So I was lucky that it was a short stint. I played most of the season, and yeah, just something I moved on from.
Do you still keep a diary now, out of interest?
No, I wouldn't say I do. No, I would write down things sometimes, but I wouldn't be as like every day writing stuff down. Or, do you know what I mean? If some days I will, some days I won't.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember listening to your Hoopfolio podcast, and they're worried about the mental side of it. And I think your first session back, you like threw yourself across the floor for a ball. You're mad, Jordan. You're actually mad.
I mean, like for me, that was just because I know if I'm going to come back and I'm going to be playing, like I'm going to be doing the things that I'm going to do. So my first play, I was like, let me try, let me see how I feel. Do you know what I mean? If it's going to happen, if something bad happens, it's going to happen. Yeah. I'm out here now. I've been cleared. So it's just trying to break that mental block, or not even trying to break it, just trying to never have one. Yeah. So it was like first opportunity I had, tapped the ball away from somebody and just dove, just went, just see how it feels. Felt fine. And okay, perfect. I'm good. I'm good now.
Yeah. It was kind of like that reassurance you needed for yourself, where like, oh look, I'm grand. Like you kind of need that first hit to really know you're back.
Yeah, no, exactly, because it was unknown territory. Like I'd never had an injury like that. So I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. So all these feelings that I have physically are new and different. So I have to try and figure them out.
Yeah, exactly. What was it like then getting back on the court? I think your first game you're on ESPN top 10 or something.
Yeah, it was actually cost us that game.
Did you?
So I was on a minute restriction. No, I'm not saying that with pride or anything.
Right. Okay.
But I was supposed to be on a minute restriction, so I was supposed to be only allowed to play 8 minutes. So I played 4 minutes in the first half. I played quite well, and then in the second half I played 4 minutes, but coach left me in for 5, and then I come off and the game is really close, and I was playing well. So I was going to my trainer, my physio, and she's like, no, like it's not happening. This was like 5 months and 2 weeks, I think. Yeah. It was like 2 or 3 weeks before the 6 month mark.
Right.
So I looked up the doctor, the USA doctor was in the stands because he would travel with us to games. And I was like, Doc, can I please play? And he came down and he was like, yeah, let him go. So I went back in and I ended up playing, I think it was 11 or 13 minutes. But yeah, I messed up the last 2 plays of the game. And I messed up 2 ball screen coverages. And they hit a 3-on-1, they hit a 2 on another, and we ended up losing by, I think it was 2.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so
that's a bit of
I begged for them to let me stay in and then cost the game.
Yeah, it didn't go that well, as in team wise. But what was it like then afterwards? Were you fairly stiff now the next day, or were you all right?
I was fine. I was sore because it was new. Do you know what I mean? It was new. It was unknown. So I was sore. I wouldn't say I was very stiff. Great treatment, great rehab right afterwards, and my rehab never stopped. Even when I got back, I had to still do it every single day, and then just got a lot more treatment, got a lot more taken care of, so to speak. And I was fine. Again, shout out to the backroom staff that we had because they were just incredible.
And talk us through the rest of that season. How did it go for the remaining games?
Yeah, we had a really good season. I had a good year. Ended up getting after 2 games, back onto the starting 5, and personally I felt great. That I was made it back to that level and didn't really miss a whole lot. And then we had a great year as a team. We made it all the way to the conference championship. Ended up losing in the final right before COVID struck. Okay. So, it was a good season. That obviously could have been better, and we really wanted to win. We thought we were going to. But all in all, it was a good season for a lot of people.
And did the conference final, what date was that around for in terms
I remember the exact date, but I know we played on a Tuesday. So we played on a Tuesday night, and I flew home that Sunday because that Thursday, the NBA shut down.
Yes.
And then Friday, Trump announced that he was putting in a flight ban from Monday forward. Yeah. So I ended up flying out Sunday.
And
right before that.
the team then, because you're a senior, it was a little bit different. They were like, okay, you can go. Like, there was no requirement for you to stay.
Like the minute the NBA got cancelled, I went straight over to our offices and I spoke with our assistant athletic director. Michael Martin was his name. Great person, just really good guy. Looked out for you on a lot of different aspects outside of sport. And I was just like, hey, if I'm going to be stuck in quarantine or in a lockdown where I can't leave, I would rather do that at home. You know, it was the longest period I had to be at home around my family, so it was really good. But they were super, they were like, yeah, no problem. Let's get a flight. Let's get the best one. Like that, no problem.
Brilliant.
Got back that Sunday.
Brilliant. So then you spend time at home. You obviously had aspirations to go pro for a long time. When did you really when did you sign with your agent and when did you look at teams that summer?
Yeah, so signed my agency soon after that. Soon after I graduated, so around May.
Okay.
And yeah, again, just I always spoke about going back to play in Spain. Even when I was in college, when I was in my second, third year, I was like, yeah, I want to go to Spain. That's kind of where I want to go, and had the opportunity to go to, and yeah, it was a good experience.
And how did you find then going from a college student where you have other academic commitments, other commitments outside of the basketball, to a professional and having free time outside of basketball, and you're being paid just to play basketball?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It's so we always wanted and always spoke about in college. We're like, man, I'd love if I could just do this without class. Do you know what I mean? So like finally got that opportunity, and just gives you a lot more time to take care of your body, more just focused on what you need to do. And from a sport aspect, it's, you know, just nothing more you could want. So it was, it's unbelievable. I love it. Yeah.
You eventually then signed to play with your Cork teammate, Adrian O'Sullivan. Talk us through how that all came together. It's a pretty cool experience.
So I had signed a short-term contract with a team in Lev Gold. And when that contract came to a close, I had a couple of different options to stay in Lev Gold or come play for a couple of teams in Lev Silver. And the opportunity came to go and play for Adrian's, the team that Adrian was on. So I just thought to myself, like, the year right after COVID, where the market is kind of still a bit crazy, if there's ever a chance I get to play with, let alone another Irish person, but like somebody from where I grew up, I was like, it's probably never going to happen again. So jumped at the opportunity.
Very good. What's the actual difference then? You've played both levels. What would be the difference between Lev Gold and Lev Silver?
Again, I think it comes back down to being a specialist in the things that you do. You know what I mean? Like, you look at, we had a guy on our team, his name was Casper. He was from Lafayette. And there was 2 or 3 things that he really did when he came off the screen. Like, whenever we said swing for him, 1, 2, catch, that's a shot. That's all. And we know that's what he's going to do. Yeah. And when he goes left, we know he's going to take 1 or 2 dribbles and this or that. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, just broken down into being refined to your, not refined, but just, you know, knowing your role and executing it to the best you can.
So what would be then your role if you were to look at your specialist? What would be your attributes?
So I think one thing that I really do is really do well is facilitate in a number of different ways. Whether that be facilitating on defense or facilitating on offense, I think my role would be to be a defensive anchor in terms of directing a lot of traffic, being that kind of guy. That's something that me and this coach spoke about quite a lot. And then from an offensive point of view, just keeping the energy. You know, one thing that I love and take pride in is just knowing the game. So when things break down or when something doesn't work, something doesn't go to plan, being able to just play off it and play without plays, I think is huge. So just being a facilitator, I think. Okay.
And as a coach then, how would I teach my players to be a facilitator? How do I instill that in them?
You know, I don't know. It's hard. Like it's again, like I've been very lucky to be around really good players. I've been around really good vets. I've been around really good people in their positions. And again, I've played a lot of positions. Yeah. So it's like bringing that all together and understanding the game from each position and knowing how to play them all, and then being able to help everyone in each position and know what's going to happen in this area and that area. It comes from experience, you know? So yeah. In terms of teaching, obviously there's a lot of things you can teach, but I think experience, a lot of times, like basketball is a game of feel.
Yeah.
So a lot of things you just got to experience it.
And I get the sense as well, it's sort of a mindset choice that you need, like, I need to make a decision, right? Do you know what? I might not score 20 or 30 a game, but I might have 10 assists and set up everybody else on my team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's just whatever the team needs. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm trying to win no matter what kind of game I'm playing, whether that means I go out and I try to get 10 assists or I go out and try and get 20 points, whatever the game brings. And you know what I mean? You don't, again, it's a feel, because you go in, you start the game and you feel like, okay, this is what I feel I need to do. And so.
Speaking of this summer, the Irish senior men's team won the European Championships for small countries in Dublin. Yeah. It's quite a mouthful. Talk us through that experience. The bubble in the Louis Fitz. You've won all 4 games fairly convincingly. Talk us through that whole experience.
Yeah, Matt, it was such an amazing time. I will always look back on it with a lot of pride. But it was just a really good time. We had a great bunch of people. We got to do something very special, something that not a lot of people get to do in Ireland. And again, I spoke about this on a number of occasions. After basketball in Ireland now, I know we just got the date, September 20th, to return to full contact and everything where we need to be. But like before that point, the only basketball in Ireland, I think, was 18 months before that. Mm-hmm. So to be able to, obviously, we didn't have fans, but like the BI staff that were in there, did a great job of everything, how they conducted the tournament and how they cheered us on and everything in between. But just to be able to do it on a home court after a time that was so hard for the basketball community just felt so special.
Mm-hmm. You certainly made up for the lack of supporters. The noise you individually made, the amount of like whooping, I don't know how to describe it. You were just screaming the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun tournament for us. We there was an unspoken feeling of, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like we all felt like we were there to do a job. Felt a little bit more responsibility for the basketball community, in a sense. And it was just, everything we did, we were just trying to be together. And it was a little bit bigger. It was bigger than us. Do you know what I mean? It was more it was huge for the Irish basketball community.
Speaking of the Irish basketball community, and I guess it shows how far we've come, but at one stage, when I was there anyway, I think it did happen the other games, yourself, John, Sean and CJ were on the court at the same time. So that's 4 former or current Division 1 players, because CJ's obviously going to Lafayette.
Yeah.
That just shows the strength of the Irish team.
The level that we've come to, do you know what I mean? It's a credit to everyone that's going away and pursuing their dreams and playing in all these different places. Like we're going to be at a point, I spoke about it a lot with a lot of different people this summer, we're going to be at a point in a couple of years where we're going to be putting out 10, 11 and hopefully 12 Irish pros. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, again, like when we get Americans, we got great Americans. Like we had Will this summer, unbelievable guy, had Irish connections before that, just fitted right into our group and it was amazing. So he's a great person and we were so happy to have him. But as an Irish community, to say that we can now potentially put out 12 pros in the next couple of years to come. I'm right now playing with 4 or 5 and a couple of D1 guys. It's testament to the growth that we've had from people going overseas.
Absolutely. You obviously interacted with a lot of people, I think, overseas. I think you met or you went to one of Sean Jenkins's game. What's it like to be one of those trailblazers? Because I know a lot of the kids who are there now would have looked up to you. What's it like to meet them? And obviously I know you're friends with some of them, but to now see a lot of them go away and be like, oh, that's really cool. Because yes, I wasn't the first one, but a lot of them looked to you.
No, it's amazing. I look back to like when I was starting my journey, there wasn't a whole lot of people that could have given me a whole lot of advice because a lot of people had done it before. And if they had, they were very far removed from when they'd done it. So the landscape had changed a whole lot. So it was different. But like Jason Clean would have spoken to me a lot when I was younger. And again, Joe would have helped me a lot. But like it was just such a different environment from when they had been a part of those settings. So I think now having people like me, John, Sean, Flood doing it and have done it and are now on the other side doing what the next step is, to have people so close to your age and have them help you because it's identical, you know what I mean, like in terms of what they would be going through and what we went through. It's 2 or 3 years in the difference, but like the landscape changes from the level of basketball that we're at and where they are in their careers. So it's huge to have someone in the same journey at the same time, close to your age, being able to help you and give advice. So like I love seeing all the Irish people away and how great they're doing, and love being able to talk to them and give them any type of advice that I can.
What's sort of the most common advice you'd give to a lot of them? I know everyone's different and has different issues or different questions for you, but what would be sort of the common themes?
Just be an absolute sponge, you know what I mean? And build relationships. You know, relationship building is huge. Later in life, when you get past college and you're looking to do things, and the opportunities that you have in America to build relationships with some really amazing people that want to do things for the right reasons, it's huge. So build relationships and just be a sponge on the court. Do you know what I mean? Take in everything from everybody, meet everyone, do everything. So yeah, that would be the two most, generic type things, but then obviously try to be a bit personal with it.
If you were to combine that where you're looking at now, the kids coming up and the likes of yourselves, moving forward, basketball is in a really good place. What can we expect from the Irish senior men's team over the next couple of years?
Man, like for me, every time I step on the court, I'm trying to win, no matter what game I'm playing, no matter who I'm playing against. So yeah, I mean, obviously we're hoping that you're going to see a whole lot of winning. We've got the Eurobasket qualifiers coming up.
Yeah.
They started first in November. And obviously, again, just trying to win every game. If we win this, then we get to the next stage of it. And hopefully we build from there. But yeah, we're in the right path. We're heading in the right direction. And the right people are involved. So it's a very exciting time.
For yourself personally, what's the ultimate goal or dream?
My goals kind of changed after this summer. Do you know what I mean? Because the realization came that we can really do something with this national team. I knew it before, and I always had the feeling, but I was like, we need to break this barrier. I mean, we need to win. We need to win something. Yeah. And then we need to move on. So now, like, my goal is to try and go as far as I can with the national team and really like put a lot of time and effort and thought into it, because again, if we get to a level of, by the time, like, I'm only 24 still, so I have a lot of years of playing. If we get to the point where we're bringing big teams like France and Spain and Italy, we're bringing them to play in the arena, and we're going to play them. That's NBA players coming for the kids to watch and the younger generations to see. And it's just, it's a very exciting time for the next 5 to 10 years. I think in Irish basketball, we're going to see a lot of growth.
Absolutely. For yourself, you're only 24, as you said, so I don't know, I might be asking this a bit prematurely, but when you do retire from sport, which is a long way away, what do you want to be remembered for?
My heart. I think every time I play, I try to play as hard as I can, to the best of my ability, no matter what. So if I be remembered for just someone who really gave it all every time I played, I'll be a very happy person.
Love it. I just want to pull one more thing from our conversation earlier this year. You said chase being content over happiness. Can you explain that a little bit to the listeners?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Sorry, you said chase being content over like happiness. Can you explain that one a little bit?
That would. I studied psychology in college, so I try to act like I'm a psychologist sometimes. But yeah, I mean, like, you look at like the opposite of happiness is sadness, and we would never encourage someone to be sad, because that's an extreme. Happiness is also an extreme. Whereas content is just a happy medium. And you're doing what you need to do. Like, I always kind of found that, because like that was more so for people like playing basketball overseas, because it's a different kind of world that you're in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's there's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows. And the highs are high, but they're fleeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, those high moments are very fleeting moments. And then the low moments can linger. You know what I mean? So for people like that, and a lot of people go through it, and it's, again, just being able to give advice to people who are going through the same thing you're going through while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Not when you're removed and, I remember when. Well, no, man, I feel the exact same way. Do you know what I mean? So it's like trying to find a happy medium with what you're doing and with your journey. And, that was why I said that. Yeah.
Is that something you maybe struggled with when you were younger, that kind of trying to get a happy medium of both? Because you said there, it's probably hard when basketball is so, like, you're on scholarship or something.
I mean, the perspective I took is like, I'm here to do a job. when I was in college, when I was in professionally. I'm here to do a job, and that's what I'm here to do, you know. And if I don't do my job, then somebody else will. So it was like when tough things happen in life or tough things outside of the basketball can affect your emotions a lot. So it's kind of, and your highs also come from life, but like a lot of your highs come from the sports you're playing. So if sometimes they're not there and then the two lows are mixing, it's quite, people can get bogged down. So for me, from again an early age, I was quite lucky to be around people that taught me. Like my dad was huge in that, in terms of just how to handle myself, control my emotions and separate them and compartmentalize, and just finding that happy medium.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a lot of younger players listening to you and looking up to you. Is there anything that we're overlooking or we don't maybe kind of underrate, maybe for the younger players, whether it's skill or maybe it's something to do with working out, because you said when you were younger you had something there?
Yeah, I would say mobility is huge. Mobility workouts and stuff like that, because again, when I was young, I would never stretch. I would just come in, run around the gym, and I could do that up until I was 21, 22. Yeah. And when I got 21, 22, I'm like, my goodness. And again, that's still so young, but then I finally find mobility. Yeah. And it just changes how I feel about everything. So it's like, I would tell young kids, just, focus on that kind of thing, so it can change a lot about how you play and a lot about how you move. And then just the overall happiness of doing what you're doing. Just don't forget why you're doing it, and always trying to be as mentally sound as you can be. All wellness and health and well-being, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of times that gets overlooked. So there's obviously a lot of resources there for people, but just remain happy and remind yourself why you're doing it.
Brilliant. I'm going to move on to the sideline 7. It's the same 7 questions at the end of every episode. Question 1. What is your favourite quote?
Oh, my favourite quote. Wow, there's a lot. I think it would probably, from a basketball perspective, it would be Michael Jordan's one about how many times he's missed, failed, all that kind of thing. And that's why he's been able to be so great. Do you know what I mean? Because again, when you talk about lows and your highs, you got to, again, find that, point where you're happy.
Love it. Question 2. Best sporting event you've been to?
Best sporting event that I've been to. I was at an NBA Finals game when Kyrie and LeBron were in Cleveland. Not a finals game, a playoff game. So that was quite amazing. But I got to be at a bunch of high-level basketball games, NBA games, so that was always a lot of fun.
What's your favourite sporting event that you've been involved in?
Man, this summer, the European Championships.
Yeah.
There you go, 100%.
Biggest setback or challenge so far in your career?
The biggest challenge would probably have been the passing of my dad last year. So I'm just trying to deal and overcome that with still, again, having to do a job. So, that would probably be the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. Your biggest achievement on or off the court?
Biggest achievement on the court, probably being leading scorer of the European Championships or the MVP of the EuroLeague tournament. And then off the court, having my dad interviewed by ESPN.
Oh, Daddy.
It was something, it was absolutely huge for us as a family. It was something we would joke and laugh about when I was a little kid. So playing the game and looking over and seeing ESPN interview, it was a super, super proud moment.
Yeah, I'd say so. Dream dinner guest and why?
Dream dinner guest and why? Kobe, 100%.
Yeah, easy.
He was my idol when I was younger, from a basketball perspective and a life perspective. Just how he conducts himself and everything he does is just unbelievable.
Advice to your 18-year-old self?
Advice to my 18-year-old self. I actually had this question a couple of weeks ago as well in a different interview, and it would be more of a kid. When I was traveling to all these different places and everything, I was just so, do you know what I mean? Not nonchalant, but just didn't really take in the environments as well as I probably could have. Yeah. In terms of the cultures of the places I was in. So I was just trying to be more of a kid and just try to experience a bit more with the places that I've been.
Final question before I let you go. If your life was a book, what chapter would this be called?
Oof. Man, growth.
Okay. On and off the court.
Yeah, 100%. I just feel like this is a big year for me personally, and from a sport point of view, and again, being a part of the new national team setups and going forward. I just feel like this year and these coming years will be a lot of growth.
Brilliant. Jordan, I just want to thank you so much for your time. The very best of luck this year. I'm looking forward to watching the Eurobasket qualifiers, and just thanks again.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
A big thank you to Jordan for coming on today. I thoroughly enjoyed our chat, and I hope you did too. I'll be sure to leave all of his links in the description box below, and I just want to wish him the very best of luck next year. If you did enjoy the episode and you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a rating and a review, as it does help the show grow. Be sure to check out the brand new website, thesidelinelive.com, for more. Thanks a million for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.